We've hit a pretty major milestone with Paris in my pocket this week. Of course, this is an update that most people will never actually see, which is kind of cool, but kind of frustrating, especially for Jeff. I don't know if you know Jeff, but Jeff's the guy that's been making the magic happen behind the scenes for a while now. And as a programmer, a developer, often his work goes unappreciated. So today, I want to make sure to appreciate him. Unfortunately, the taxi stand is completely empty, which is a problem because the RERB is having some pretty severe delays today, apparently. There are like no taxis around, so I'm gonna hop on the metro, get a little closer to my end goal, and hope for the best. Of course, as soon as I walked down the metro stairs, a taxi popped up. Maybe it's best just to wait. Ah oui. Little patience goes a long ways. Here we go. Bonjour, monsieur. Je vais Charles de Gaulle.
Ok.
Est-ce que vous prenez des cartes?
Si vous pouvez
oui.
régler en espèces, je peux faire.
Malheureusement, je peux pas. C'est pour ça que j'ai demandé. Merci. I was just about to say, the crazy thing is that stand is always full. Now there are taxis everywhere.
C'est pas vrai.
Back when I created my guide, it was a PDF, like the simplest thing I could make, right? I just wanted to share my recommendations, and then I made it as valuable as I could with all the articles I could think of how to get around the city, how to handle taxis, for example, how to navigate the metro. You get it, that whole thing. And we converted it into an online version. We try not to call it an app because it's a web app, right? And when you think app, you think a thing on your phone. And this is something that is online only. But the nice thing is it's opened up a world of opportunities for us to make it significantly better consistently over time. But we've been held up by a really big hang-up. And we finally fixed it. It's been years in the making. And we're back at the airport. Merci, monsieur. Au revoir, bonne journée, obrigado. Those taxi tips include, but are not limited to, making sure that they actually take cards before you get in the taxi. I asked this guy, they always prefer cash. Surprisingly still, sometimes there are guys that will not take cards, and it's a little bit skeezy. The second would be if you're going to the airport, you have a set fare, so make sure that the meter is set. It's not running, it's set at the price that it should be, based on, today it was 56 euros. Where am I going? I'm going this way. And the third was the beginning, which was just to go to a taxi stand. Like, get a real taxi at a taxi stand, and usually at those taxi stands, there's always somebody waiting. That's what made this morning surprising, was that there was no one there for like the first 5 minutes. And then suddenly, they all appeared. Anyways, let's get through security. I love traveling. I hate the airport. It is crowded in here. I did end up getting a little present for my sister. This is not what I got her at the Modern Art Museum. Just bought it here. I would have gotten one for each member of the family, but they only had smalls. And to be honest, I'm just excited to give this to my sister. But it's time to do a little repacking for the snacking. The line to fill up water bottles was about 8 million minutes long, so I opted not to do that yet. But bring in your own water bottle after you get through security. You should be able to fill it up for free, which is really nice. And they're adding some more decent restaurants in here. One of my number one complaints about the airports in Paris has always been that the food options suck, which I guess is kind of true of airports universally. There are some airports with some good food, but most airports don't seem to really care all that much, which is a tragedy. And honestly, my argument would be, if the French are so proud of their cuisine, if Paris is supposed to be the center of culinary culture, then you would think that the port of entry and departure would be a good place to show it off. Like, let the world know as they enter, you're in for a treat. And on their way out, you should have stayed. Remember how good the food is? Personally, I think it's a sound argument, but they're putting it in Italy, which should make Lindsay really happy. Oh no! Personally, I think they should open like a Dumbo or a Baby Love in here too. That would be money. Anyway, the last time we had a major update to the guide, like a major technical update, was when we were able to launch the Guide Plus, which took way more work than you would have guessed, because everything when it comes to technology takes way more work than you would guess. And I sent Jeff a little care package full of beer and some snacks to thank him, because he has such a thankless job. And this time, what he's accomplished is even more technically impressive, because he's paid off a whole pile of tech debt and enabled us to do a bunch of stuff we would never have been able to do otherwise which again, you probably won't notice right away. If you have my guide, you have access for life, so you should see this all unfold in real time. But it's really freaking cool and it's really exciting. And even if we don't get to see it up front and obviously anytime soon, I figured I probably should go buy him a beer in person. I mean, I bought him last time, but I'm gonna buy him one in person this time. Speaking of technical difficulties, this is gonna be a challenging feat because I'm not flying directly to Seattle just to get him a beer. I'm flying through Seattle and I have a 2-hour layover, but that doesn't mean that we can't try to make it happen. And theoretically, he found some sort of security pass that lets him get past security to hang out in the terminal one day only, but we won't know if he was approved for it or not until morning his time, which means I'm not even gonna know what the plan is until I land. Am I gonna have to go out of security and get back in? I suppose we're gonna have to find out. Let's go on an adventure where Jay buys Jeff a beer. Also, I have one more surprise in this for you. We'll see if it works out. So I was gonna turn my bag in, because, why not? But then my boarding pass finally came in. I didn't have a seat assigned until just now. The words COMF popped up. And I'm zone 3 instead of like zone Z. Dare I get my hopes up? Will I have leg room? I never have leg room. This is a life goal of mine, to stop playing economy someday. I think that's all of our life goals though, isn't it? I will take whatever's happening to me right now.
Watch this, y'all. Watch this, y'all. Check up.
What? Look at this.
Watch this, y'all.
I don't know if this comes across in video or not, but leg room is consistently the number one problem I have with sitting in the back of the plane. This is a beautiful moment. The stuff that it's going to enable us to do is, like I said, behind the scenes, but it will accelerate so many little things we want to change. Tech debt is, well, how do I define this quickly? Tech debt is basically the debt you accumulate over time when you make quick fixes to keep your systems running, to get to wherever it is you're trying to go as quickly and effectively, maybe efficiently as possible. But the danger with that is, if you keep adding little jury-rigged things to your systems, they get clunky and things start to conflict with each other, and eventually you build up this debt of like, if you change this thing over here, it's going to affect that thing over here, which is going to break this thing, and then all these things are going to, and it becomes a spaghetti mess that needs to get fixed. But it takes a lot of time and effort to do, and we've been talking about fixing this for well over a year, and Jeff finally got it done. It's very exciting. There he is.
That's the whole 2-hour delay.
This is true friendship. You just need to check. Hey! I missed it. Are you that
Watch this, y'all. Watch this, y'all.
My flight got delayed 2 hours, so at least I've got company.